This audio production was made in collaboration with Audible Anarchist.
5. Social organization cannot be restricted to the local commune or the local federation of producers groups. We will see how social organization is expanded and completed. On the one hand, by the establishment of regional cooperative federations comprising all the groups of workers in the same industry, and on the other, by the establishment of a federation of communes. We have already indicated in Section 3 what a cooperative federation is. Such organizations in a rudimentary form exist in present society. All workers in a given trade or craft belong to the same organization, for example, the Federation of Typographical Workers. But these organizations are a very crude sketch of what they will become in the new society. The cooperative federations will unite all workers in the same industry. They will no longer unite to protect their wages and working conditions against the onslaught of the employers, but primarily to guarantee the mutual use of the tools of production, which are the property of each of these groups, and which will, by a reciprocal contract, become the property of the whole cooperative federation. In this way, the federation of groups will be able to exercise constant control over production and regulate the rate of production to meet the fluctuating consumer needs of society. The cooperative federation will operate in a very simple fashion. On the morrow of the revolution, the producers' groups, local unions, belonging to the same industry will find it necessary to send delegates from city to city to exchange information and learn from each other's experience. These partial conferences will prepare the way for a general congress of the cooperative federation to be held at some central point. This congress will formulate a federative contract which will be submitted for the correction and approval of all the groups of the cooperative federation. A permanent bureau elected by the Congress and responsible to it will serve as an intermediary link between the groups of the federation and between the federation and all the other cooperative federations. When all the branches, industries, including agricultural organizations, have been organized in this manner, they will constitute a vast federative network spanning the whole country and embracing all the producers and therefore all the consumers. The statistics of production, coordinated by statistical bureaus of every cooperative federation, will permit the determination in a rational manner of the hours of labor, the cost price of products and their exchange value, and the quantities in which these products should be produced to meet the needs of their consumers. People impressed by the hollow declamations of the so-called Democrats will perhaps demand that all these details should be settled by a direct vote of all the members of their cooperative federations, and when we reply in the negative, they will accuse us of despotism. They will protest against what they consider to be the authority of the bureaus, arguing that the bureaus should not be invested with the exclusive power to deal with such a grave problem and to make decisions of the greatest importance. Our answer will be that the tasks performed by the permanent bureaus do not involve the exercise of any authority whatsoever. They concern only the gathering and classification of information furnished by the producers' groups. Once this information is combined and made public, it will be used to help fix prices and costs, the hours of labor, etc. Such operations involve simple mathematical calculations which can yield only one correct result, verifiable by all who have access to the figures. The permanent bureau is simply charged to ascertain and make the facts known to everyone. Every now, for example, the postal service performs a somewhat similar service to what the bureaus of cooperative federations will render in the future. And we know of no person who complains that the post office abuses its authority because it collects, classifies, and delivers the mail without submitting every operation to universal suffrage. Furthermore, the producers' groups forming the federation will intervene in the acts of the bureau in a far more effective and direct manner by simply voting. For it is they who will furnish all the information and supply the statistics, which the bureau only coordinates. The bureau is merely the passive intermediary through which the groups communicate and publicly ascertain the results of their own activities. The vote is a device for settling questions which cannot be resolved by means of scientific data, problems which must be left to the arbitrary decision of numbers. But in questions susceptible to precise scientific solution, there is no need to vote. The truth cannot be decided by vote. It verifies and imposes itself by the mighty power of its own evidence. But we have only to deal with one half of the extra-communal organization. The federative corporations will be paralleled by the establishment of the Federation of Communes.
This has been a production of Audible Anarchist. You can find more Audible Anarchist on YouTube.